Hey everyone, it's Emily. I'm back, and today I want to talk to you about things I wish I knew as a beginner UX designer. So going into the field, things that, I basically wish I knew before starting UX design. So come along, we're gonna go talk through a couple things. I just hit my 2-year anniversary for work at my first UX design job, so figured it's a nice time to reflect, think about stuff I wish I knew. So I don't know, keep watching if you are curious. So the first thing that I wish I knew is UX designing is the easy part of the job. So that's what you're trained to do. You know kind of the design process. You're like maybe gonna gather some requirements, get some feedback from folks about what the problem is. You're gonna create this amazing solution, and then you're gonna pitch your idea, people are gonna develop it, and then it's like all fine and dandy. While that is some of the part of the job I do, a lot of it is facilitating conversations between different groups of people to get sign off or like buy-in in for your designs. So one of the big things that I do is like because UX kind of sits between product management, development, architecture. Sometimes you're going to be working with like marketing or other people that are like in the company that you're going to have to like get feedback from everybody. You're going to get requirements from a bunch of people. You're going to kind of be like, okay, what can I do to make product management happy while also making a solution that is viable for dev to handle and to create. So a lot of this time is spent facilitating conversations between all of these different groups of people. It can be fairly tricky, but I think it's something that is a good life skill to have, just be able to like talk to different groups of people. And then also is just, it's not super hard to learn if you put like time and effort in and just continue to iterate, continue to work on your communication skills, and it kind of all falls into place. So that's the first thing. That also kind of segues into number 2, which is basically learn how to adapt your communication according to your audience. So this, maybe if you're presenting something to someone higher up in the organization, you're probably not going to need to get into the nitty-gritty of like interaction patterns about what's happening in your designs. But if you're talking in like handing off your designs to a dev team to start developing your work, then yes, you probably need to go in literally all of the small, minute details, all of the weird edge cases, like they want to know that. So being able to really tailor your content and basically how you're communicating your ideas to different groups of people is super, super important, and something that took me a little bit longer to learn, just because I'd go in and do the same presentation to several different people, and I would get like very different results from like feedback or thoughts on them. And it also really depends on like what you're looking for from these people. Is it like you are looking for active feedback on your designs? Are you just trying to get sign off? All of that will help kind of determine how you want to communicate your different ideas and designs to people. Another thing is being flexible and iterative in your work. And I think this sounds very similar, or like you would think that this is kind of self-explanatory when you're designing, like, oh, you're obviously going to iterate and stuff, but it's really important to especially be flexible in your iteration. So you're not necessarily the only one that's driving the design. You create an initial design kind of as a launch point, and then we'll pitch your idea for others, and then iterate from there. So your original design and your final design may look completely different, and that is more than okay. Like that's honestly better and expected, because you started with not a ton of information. A lot of times people aren't able to articulate what they want until they have something in front of them to critique. So if I just have like a regular conversation with someone about like what ideally they'd want this product to solve or to do, they probably won't be able to give me a great answer. But if I, give them a few designs to look at, then they can definitely say, oh, I like this one over that one, or I, didn't envision it this way, I envisioned it this other way, actually. So that's something, to be able to improvise, adapt, and overcome, basically. That's long story short. is improvise, adapt, and overcome. Okay, another thing is grow a thick skin. So with that, and just the nature of UX design and what we do, we are creating things and getting feedback and criticisms and critiques to help iterate and form the path of those designs. So with that, it's really easy sometimes to feel like when people are critiquing the designs you made, that they are critiquing you as a designer or as a person, and that is not the case. That 99% of the time, that is not what they're trying to do, and unless they're really mean, like, you're gonna be fine. So with that, it is helpful, especially if you work on designs a ton, you put a ton of time and effort in. It's a lot easier to just get really attached to what you see, and then when people critique that, you're like, oh my gosh, like you take it personally, and that is not the case. Speaking as someone that has gotten a lot of feedback and has also given feedback, it is purely meant to improve the designs and improve the solutions and fix the problems that we are trying to fix. So I think it's a hard one to do, especially in you can kind of do it in school a little bit, but it hits a little different when your coworkers are telling you what to do or what not to do. So long story short, grow a thick skin. Don't take it personally when you're getting critiques. It's literally to make your designs better and honestly make you better as a designer at learning from those critiques that you're getting. So yeah, just don't take it personally and you got it. Okay, finally, what I wish I knew as an incoming designer is that you are always going to be learning, especially in this field. There's always stuff that is happening, and I kind of knew that from the beginning of okay, I'm gonna want to I'm just curious about UX design stuff in general, and I learned obviously a lot in school, but I think there's still so much more, even just in pop culture and trends and stuff that you can kind of follow and continue to learn, and then also kind of steer back to the fundamentals of UX design, of who came up with visualization design, and what are the fundamentals for fonts and typography and contrasts and all of this different stuff that really goes into creating a great user experience for folks. But I think it's really important, and something that people don't probably do enough is just continue learning as you are working. So for me, I try to set time aside and read at least one article or listen to a podcast or something every day, and then also have a few hours blocked off during the week to actually go and try to learn a new skill, or for example, if you're working in Figma, then maybe try to figure out how the new updates work or something like that, to make yourself a better designer and continue to hone your skills. So the job doesn't just entail design, it entails so much more, and I think that it definitely behooves you to make sure that you are also continuing to grow and learn as a designer, and not just stop at kind of what you originally taught, but continue to learn both at work, from your coworkers, and kind of on your own as well. With that, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe, because it really supports my channel. Hopefully I will be back with more videos soon. But until then, I will see you next time. Bye.